In this video, we are going to show how to add a new Other Fuel Supply Point to an account in GHGi Analytics. The section Other Fuel Supply Point is used for a number of different types of fuel purchased by the organisation. It covers a variety of options, both stationary or for transport. Some companies that have a fleet of vans or lorries have a diesel tank on site. The Other Fuel Supply Point section is used to record this. Other examples of where to use this section include heating oil or LPG for forklift trucks or cooking. It should also be used for recording fuel bought using fuel purchase cards like AllStar or Key Fuels. In this video, we are going to set up an Other Fuel Supply Point to record the use of fuel purchase cards, AllStar in this case. The first thing to do is get a copy of an invoice relating to the fuel card supplier that you want to add. Logging in takes us to the dashboard page, where we select Setup in the navigation bar, and in the drop-down select Add Other Fuel Supply Points. You are not limited to just setting up one supply point at a time. The drop-down allows you to select up to 100, though for a fuel card I would normally select 2, one for petrol and one for diesel. However, we're just going to set up one fuel type in this video, so we select one from the drop-down and click the button Add Fuel Supply Point. This brings up an Add a Fuel Supply Point form. Next, we look at a fuel invoice. This invoice is from AllStar. Other suppliers' invoices will probably look different, but the information you need will all be there. The supplier's name is the first thing we need. The fuel types shown on the invoice are usually petrol and diesel, but sometimes LPG. You can ignore the entries for lubricating oil, additives like AdBlue, etc. You only record fuel types. You can see that this invoice shows both unleaded and super unleaded petrol, and diesel and premium diesel. The government's emission factors make no distinction between unleaded petrol and super unleaded. Similarly, there is no distinction between diesel and premium diesel. Therefore, we will only need one entry for petrol and one entry for diesel. The units are litres, although this is not stated explicitly on the invoice. We know this because it is the unit of measurement used on the forecourt. Once this information has been collected and recorded, we can proceed. The fields with red descriptions are required fields and must be fully completed. First, you need the fuel supply point reference. This is a required field and must be decided beforehand. As I said earlier, you will need one entry for petrol and one for diesel. And as the supplier is AllStar, I'm going to call this one AllStar Diesel. Next, we select the fuel type. We have a choice of diesel or biodiesel. Because fuel cards are used to purchase from petrol stations, the diesel sold will be normal forecourt diesel, which is a biofuel blend. We will therefore select bulk forecourt. Units is litres in this case. Common site name is a required field. Your company may have several sites, and you will probably want to see the emissions for each of them. This must be chosen in advance and used for all energy sources on that site, not just this fuel type. I'm going to use HQ. Site code is also a required field and again must be decided beforehand. If you have multiple sites or locations, you must use a different code for each site or location. It too is used for all emission sources on a particular site. Precise location is not really relevant for a fuel card, so we will leave it blank. Applies to area is a field that, if required, enables you to link this source to a specific department or business unit. In this case, I'm going to leave it blank. Site address. We'll use Big Lane, Derby, and the postcode will be DE99 9ZZ. This can be used for reporting purposes to make the report clearer if there are multiple sites and you want to break things down geographically. Next, in the supplier name drop-down, we select the supplier that is provided from the invoice, in this case, AllStar. You can ignore the next two fields and click the Add Fuel Supply button.